towards the bottom of 11b, Yud Aleph Amud Beis. Yeah, about 6 lines from the bottom. Nigmar Dino, they issued the verdict that this person, let's say Reuven, is now obligated to go to exile. Nigmar Dino, and then what happened? The Kohen Gadol became a Ben Grusha or a Ben Chalutza. He was found to be the son of a divorcee or the son of someone who did Chalitza, which then invalidates his service. So is that invalidation? How do we view that? Pligi bar Rabbi Ami, Rabbi Yitzchak Nafka, Machlokas Rabbi Ami and Rabbi Yitzchak Nafka. So they argue about this. Chadamar Mesa Kahuna. Once he's found to be invalid, so that's akin to the Kohen Gadol dying, and therefore, if he were to die, so then if he really died, the guy does not go to exile. So too here, he does not go to exile. The other opinion is, good morning, Jules, we're about 3 lines from the bottom of 11b. The other opinion is, Batlakuna means that since he now is found to be someone who's invalid to serve, we view it retroactively like all his service was invalid, and therefore it's as if this guy who's going to exile, it's as if he never had a Kohen Gadol in his lifetime. When the verdict was issued, it's like there was no Kohen Gadol at all, which the Mishnah says, if that's true, then you go to exile forever. So either you don't go to exile or you go forever. Depends on how you view this. Says the Gemara, this sounds very similar to a machlokas Rabbi Eliezer and Rabbi Yeshua. Lema bepluka Rabbi Yeshua kamiflagi. What's that machlokas? Well, you have a Kohen who's working in the temple, and he brought a whole number of sacrifices, and then you find out he's actually a Ben Grusha, Ben Chalitza. You find out that he's the son of a divorcee or son of someone who did Chalitza, which invalidates his service. Rabbi Eliezer Omer Kol Korbanos Shehikriv Psulin says retroactively all the sacrifices that were brought are invalid. And Rabbi Yeshua says no, we don't go retroactively. We only go from this point onward. They're not. Those are fine. Rabbi Yeshua Machshir. So this machlokas is very similar to our machlokas. Do you view it like the Kohen Gadol retroactively wasn't here at all, or do you view it that it's as if he died right now? So Mand Amar Mesa, the one who held that the Kohen Gadol who's found to be invalid, it's like he died right now. That's like the opinion of Rabbi Yeshua, who says it's like he died right now. It's like the Kohen died right now. And therefore, the sacrifices are going to be, we're not going to nullify them retroactively. Just from this point forward, he's invalid to work in the temple. Umandamar Butla, the one that says it's nullified, is Rabbi Eliezer. Is like the opinion of Rabbi Eliezer, who says that retroactively they're all nullified. Says the Gemara, no, it's not true. Why not? On the next page, first line. Aliba Rabbi Eliezer Klamalo Pligi. According to Rabbi Eliezer, who says that all the sacrifices are retroactively nullified, so Kuli Amalo Pligi, meaning everyone's going to agree that according to him, in our case, the Kohen Gadol is going to retroactively. It's like retroactively there was no Kohen Gadol, and then the guy goes to the Ir Miklat forever. That Rabbi Eliezer would agree to in our case. Our machlokes is not in his opinion; it's according to Rabbi Yeshua. How would Rabbi Yeshua view our case? Keep the Yeli with Rabbi Yeshua. Mandam Mesa, Rabbi Yeshua. So one opinion in our case held that when he's found to be invalid, it's like he died right now. That's like Rabbi Yeshua. Umanda Amar Batla, and the other opinion in our case, who says Batla, that retroactively, it's like there was no Kohen Gadol to begin with, so maybe he will also say that Rabbi Yeshua would agree to him. How could you say that? Over there it says that the about the Kohen that his handiwork is wanted. So afilu chalolin shabo, that even if he's found to be invalid, but his handiwork is still kosher. So, but that's only for that. I mean, it's only for the service of the temple. Aval hacha afilu Rav Yeshua moda. So that verse tells you that even if he's found to be a chalol, which invalidates a kohen for his service, but the verse comes to include him, that even a chalol, his handiwork was fine. But that's a specific inclusion by the service of the temple. But in our case, even Rabbi Yeshua would be moda. Even he would agree in our case that if the Kohen Gadol is found to be a ben grusha or a ben chalutza, so then all of the service retroactively would be invalid. Yeah. So now the Mishnah spoke about someone who's in Galus that he can't leave even for a good reason. So now I mentioned Yoav, David HaMelech's general. Now Yoav ended up killing Avner, and David issued that Yoav get killed. So Yoav ran away. And he ran away to the altar, the Mizbeach, hoping that the Mizbeach would be a refuge for him from being killed by David's army. So Amar Yehuda, Amar Rab, Shtei Ta'uyos Ta'Yoav. Yoav made two mistakes, and therefore it didn't protect him, and he got killed. What were the two mistakes? But also, Shtei Ta'uyos Ta'Yoav, but also Shah. He made two mistakes at that time. He ran to the altar of Hashem, and he held on to the ends of the altar. So, Ta she'eno kolet elagago. The verse in the Torah does tell us that the Mizbeach, the altar, has the same protection that a city of refuge has. However, not the ends of the Mizbeach. You have to go on top of the Mizbeach. And he went and held on to the end. Who tafas bekarnosa. Additionally, Tash Eino Kol Elam Mizbeach Beis Olamim. He ended up the way Rashi learns. He went to a Mizbeach that David made in Ir David. But really, the only one that causes protection is the one that's in the base of Migdash. The Mizbeach that's by Harabayis. Yeah. V'hu tafas mizbeach shel Shiloh. Rashi takes out this. It doesn't mean mizbeach shel Shiloh. Rather, it's a mizbeach shel Bama, which was built in the city of David, and he ran there instead of the mizbeach of the base of Mikdash. So Abai Omer b'hanami mitata. He made another mistake. Ta she'eno kohe ela kohen va'avoda biyado v'hu zarhaya. Abai adds a third one that it only protects somebody who is a Kohen doing the temple service, but he is not was not a Kohen. He was a Yisrael, and therefore it's not going to protect him. So now in Yeshaya, it talks about that when Mashiach comes. So at the end of days, Hashem is going to go and kill some of the officers of Edom, the spiritual officers, before coming to kill our enemies. So, interestingly enough, the ministering angel of Rome, so also ran away from Hashem and to get protection, but he made a few mistakes. In the future, the Saros Shel Romi, the ministering angel of Rome, is going to make three mistakes when he's running away from Hashem, cannot get killed. Dichsiv, Mizeh Bama Edom, Chamutz Begadim Mi Batzara. Who came from Edom? The one who came from Edom, Chamutz, filthy, his clothing is all filthy. Mi Batzara. From a place called Batzara. So this is it's allegorically referring to Hashem coming back from killing this ministering angel. So Toa she'eno koletes ela batzar. He went from the place called Batzara, but the city's actually called Batzar. They went to the wrong place. But who go to Batzara? Okay. Toa she'eno koletes ela shogeg. He misunderstood and he thought even if you kill on purpose, advertently, it'll protect you. But it's not true. It'll only be killed inadvertently. Who mazed? Haya. And probably the biggest one, Toa she'eno kolet ela adam. The Ir Micha only protects a person, doesn't protect an angel. Who malachu, and he was a malach. So he was over 3, and Hashem is going to get rid of him. Amar Rabbi Abo, Are Mikla lo nasnu le fura. So if someone, a resident of the city of refuge, is there and he dies, you do not get buried there. The open fields, the open spaces of the Ir Miklat are going to be used for the animals, people's possessions. They're given to live, to inhabit, not for death, not for burial. Says the Gemara, but we learned yesterday, in that place, you're supposed to live, die, and be buried. So what do you mean I'm buried in an Ir Miklat? It's explicit that you are buried in a Ir Miklat. Says the Gemara, shiny. The Gali Berachmana, Reitzeach Shiny, it depends if you're a murderer or a resident. If you're a resident, then you can't be buried there. If you're a murderer, then you are buried there. So we said, just like the Ir Miklat, the city of refuge, protects you, so to its tchum, the boundary around it, the space around it also protects. Usually a tchum is 2,000 amos. That area around the Ir Miklat also causes protection, and the Goel Adam cannot kill you there. So now, V'raminhu, it says V'yashiv ba v'lo betchuma. It says that you can dwell there, but you cannot dwell in the tchum, in the outside area of the Ir Miklat. Sounds like that does not have the same status as the city of refuge. It's different. Amar Abaye lo kasha. It's not a problem. Kan liklot and kad ladur. So Abaye says it depends. To live there, you can't live there. That's what the Brisa says. It says v'yashav ba. You can only live in the Ir Miklat, but not in its outside area. However, in terms of protection, the area around the city of refuge is still going to cause protection. So now, on this that Abaye just answered, the Gemara asks, Clay, the Ein Osen stay Mikrash, below Mikrash Sada. So it says that there's an area you have to leave open. Rashi brings, it says that really 1,000 amos around the Ir Miklat, you can put vineyards there and gardens. But the next 1,000 amos, you have to leave open. It's prettier when it's left open. You have to make it nice. You can't build anything on that second 1,000 amos around the city of refuge. So, Ein Os inside the Migrash, you can't make any open space. Ein Os inside the Migrash, Velo Migrash Sadeh, Lo Migrash Ir, Velo Ir Migrash. So, this field of the Levium, yeah, that 1,000 amos you have to leave open. You can't build anything there. One second. You can't make a field into an open space. You can't make an open space into a field. And same thing with a city. You can't make the city into an open space and not an open space into a city. Basically, you have to have a city, and then you could have an open space outside the city. So we learn from there that you have to leave a space that's open. So you don't have to have a pasuk telling me that you can't live there. It's already explicit that I have to leave a part available. So says the Gemara, you're right. Amrav Sheshes lo nitzach ela lemechilos. That verse that says you can't live outside the city of refuge is coming to tell you you can't even dig under the ground and make your house over there. Even under the ground, where you're not disrupting the field area. So you would have thought that you could live there. Comes the Torah and says, no, the Yashav Ba, you have to live in the city, and you can't live outside the city, even in the caves outside the city. You still can't live there. Yeah. Okay. Now he said that if this murderer who killed inadvertently, he goes to the city of refuge, Ir Mikla, and then he leaves. Now, when he leaves, either Rabbi Yosef said it's a mitzvah to kill him. Rabbi Akiva said he has an option to kill him. So now, Taner Rabbanan, v'ratzach goel hadam esaratzeach. The goel hadam kid, it sounds like he can kill v'ratzach. He can kill the murderer. So the question is, it says v'ratzach, and he should kill. So does that mean he should kill because it's a mitzvah to kill him? Or it just means he should kill, he's able to kill him. So that the Brisa says, mitzvah b'yad goel adam. It's a mitzvah for the goel adam, the revenger of the blood, to go and kill him. Ein goel adam, rishus b'yad kol adam divrei b'yoseg lili. This reflects our Mishnah. It's a mitzvah for the revenger of the blood to kill him. It says v'ratzach, go and kill him. And for everybody else, it's a you have permission to kill him, and you will not be obligated in a death penalty. Rabbi Akiva Omer rishus biyad goel adam v'chol adam chayav elav. Rabbi Akiva argues and says that the goel hadam has permission to kill him, but everybody else does not, and therefore they'll be liable for the death penalty. My time, Rabbi Yosef Lili. Why does Rabbi Yosef Lili say it's a mitzvah to kill him? It doesn't say if he kills him. It doesn't say imratzach if he kills. It says viratzach, and you shall kill him. So Rabbi Yosef Lili understands it's a commandment, and you shall kill him. Rabbi Akiva says no, it doesn't mean and you shall kill him. It says miksiv yirtzach, you will kill him. It just says viratzach. Sometimes even the word viratzach, which often is used as a command to go and do something, but here it means you have the option to do it. If it wanted to say, and you shall kill him, it should have said it clear in the future tense. So all of a sudden, this other opinion says, if the killer leaves the Ir Mikla, and the revenger of the blood finds him, he's not allowed to kill him. If he does kill him, then we're going to kill the Goel Adam. We're going to kill the revenger of the blood. So, Kiman, that's like nobody. That's Lo Rabbi Yosef below Rabbi Akiva. They both argue is it a mitzvah, or do you have permission to do it? But this opinion says he can't touch him, nothing. He has to leave him be. So who's that opinion like? Who does that reflect? It reflects the following brisa. The Tanya Rabbi Eliezer Omer, Rabbi Eliezer says the Goel Adam can only kill him after he went to court. Ad amdu lefea edel lemishpat. Only after they had a court case can he kill him. So ma Talmud lomar. What is that teaching you? It says he can go and kill him. It sounds like you would have thought right away. On his way to the Ir Mikla, you can just go and kill him. Talmud lomar, no. Ad amdu lefana edel lemishpat. He has to first have a judgment, and after the judgment, so then you're able to kill him. So if he leaves the Ir Mikla before he gets judged, then you're not allowed to kill him. If it's after he gets judged, then you are allowed to kill him. So now what do Rabbi Yosef and Rabbi Akiva do with this verse that seems to imply that you have to first get judged before you can kill him? They both disagreed with that. Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Akiva, well, how do they expound it? They learn it from the following brisa. Rabbi Akiva Omer minayin l'sanhedrin shiro echad shaharag as a nefesh she'ein memisin so achi yamru bebezdin. You have a whole Sanhedrin. They're watching someone kill somebody. So maybe you would think they can just go and kill him and kill the guy without going through a whole court case. So we say no. Even if the whole Sanhedrin sees Reuben kill Shimon, they have to go and take him to another court. you have to go and judge the guy, put him on trial in another court. Tana Rabbanon says the Brisa, im yatsa yetzer. So the verse says, im yatso yetzer, a double language of if the rotzeach, the killer, will leave his boundary, he leaves that area of the Arei Miklat. So what's this double language of yatso yetzer? If he surely leaves. So ainly ela b'mezid. So the Gemara says maybe it's only if he leaves advertently. He's on purpose trying to run away, but he happens to go on a Shabbos walk and ends up outside the Ir Miklat. Minayin, how do you know that the Goel Adam can go and kill him there too? Talmud Lomer, im yatso yetzer mikol makom. The fact that the Torah used a double language shows that any kind of leaving, exiting the city of refuge will allow the revenger of the blood to come and murder the murderer. It says the Brisa of Tanya, the Mezin Gola. This Brisa argues and says, no, only if he escapes, he runs away, can the guy kill him. But if he inadvertently stumbled out of the Ir Miklat, you just put him back in. The Shogeg Gola, you put him back into Gols, and you have no right to kill him. So that seems to fly in the face of what we just said. Says the Gemara, Lo Kasha. Hakiman Amar Aminan Dibra Torah Kilashim Bnei Adam, and Hakiman Amar Lo Aminan Dibra Torah Kilashim Bnei Adam. We have a general dispute in Shas that every so often the Torah speaks, let's say in a double language. So, do you expound that, or do you say that it's speaking, so to speak, closer to human terms, and therefore you use a double language, but not to expound on? So, if you expound it, so then even someone who leaves inadvertently will be killed. And if you don't expound it, then only someone who leaves advertently can be killed by the revenger of the blood. Amar Abaye, says Abaye, Mistabra, it's more logical. Command Amar Dibra Torah Kilashim Bnei Adam. Abaye, it's more logical that in this case the Torah is speaking more similar to human terminology, and therefore it's not able to be expounded upon. Why? It says Abaye, Shelo Yehi Sofo Chamar Mitchilaso. His end of when he's already in the city of refuge shouldn't be stricter than when he was originally going into the city of refuge. Meaning to say, Mat Chilaso b'mezid, just like Chilaso b'mezid Nerad. If Reuven killed Shimon advertently, we killed Reuven, and yet if he killed him inadvertently, b'shogeg gola, then he'll get exile. Af sofo, so too at the end when he's escaping. So hold on, if he escapes b'mezid, then you can kill him Nerad and b'shogeg gola. But if he leaves inadvertently, we should not let the rotzeach go and kill him. Meaning, why should his inadvertent escape be worse than his inadvertent killing? When he killed somebody inadvertently, he gets exile. And now when he escapes inadvertently, we should be able to kill him. So that's not so logical. So I think that that opinion is more correct. Okay, so now so unfortunately a father goes and inadvertently kills his son. So Yaakov goes and kills Reuven inadvertently. He's chopping his wood, trying to build a sukkah, the axe falls down, kills Reuven. So now the question is, can Shimon, Reuven's brother, be the Goel Adam? Does he have permission to go and kill his father? So Tani Chada, Av Shaharag Beno, a father who kills a son, Nasel Goel Av Shaharag, Beno Nasel Goel Adam. The father that kills one son, the second son could be the Goel Hadam. That is one brisa. The Tanya Ilach, another brisa says, Ein Beno, the second son cannot be Eino Nasel Goel Adam. He cannot be the Goel Adam. So Machlok has two brisas. Can the second son avenge the blood of his brother by killing his father? So says the Gemara, Lema ha Rabbi Yossi Aglili ha Rabbi Akiva. According to Rabbi Yossi Aglili, it's a mitzvah. You have a mitzvah to kill the murderer. So even the second son can go and kill the father. According to Rabbi Akiva, that it's not a mitzvah, rather it's just you have permission to kill. But when it comes to the father, you definitely do not have permission to kill your own father. So says the Gemara, the Tizbra, is that logical to pin these two brises on these two opinions? Really like this. To kill your own father, even Rabbi Yossi Aglili holds a mitzvah to kill the murderer, but to kill your own father, there's a mitzvah to respect your father and to fear your father. Definitely included in that is that you shouldn't kill him. So now, the Halmer Rabbi Huna v'chein Tandrei Rishon l'chol eina ben Nasa shaliach la'aviv la'akosu v'le'kalaso. We had earlier that if a father is liable to either get lashes or to get cursed because he put into excommunication, so can the son act as a messenger of the court to execute lashes or curse? And there we said no. The son cannot be the one who executes the lashes, unless chutz mi mesis, except for a mesis, someone who convinces others to do avodah zarah, idol worship. Harei amar Torah lo sakum v'lo sechas alav. There he could, but except for that case, the son can't even execute lashes. So how could he have permission to kill his own father? He can't even give him lashes. Elo lo kasha. The two brises can be reconciled in the following way. Ha b'beno and ha b'ben beno. The actual son cannot go and kill his father. He has to treat him with honor. But ha ben beno, the brise that said that he could, is talking about the grandson. The grandson could avenge and kill the grandfather. So meaning, so let's say Yaakov the father killed Reuven, and now Reuven's son, which is the grandson of Yaakov, he is allowed to go and kill Yaakov. Now Rashi says because he's not commanded on respecting his grandfather. Now that's so therefore he can go and kill him. Now the problem with that is that there's two opinions brought down. I believe in Shulchan Aruch, does a grandson have a chiyuv, an obligation to respect his grandfather? So the one that says no, this Gemara fits very nicely. The problem is the other opinion that says that you do have to respect your grandfather. So how would they understand this Gemara? It sounds like not like Rashi. So you have to understand it in a different way. For some reason, there's a special leniency over here that you're allowed to kill the grandfather, even though you have to show him respect, and that needs a little bit of explanation why. Okay. Next Mishnah. So now you have a tree, which is in the middle of the that 2,000 amos, that border, that boundary outside the Ir Miklat, but its branches are leaning outside the tchum, or the tree is outside the boundaries of the Ir Miklat, but its branches are leaning in. So is that considered part of the Ir Miklat or not part of the Ir Miklat? So says the Mishnah, Hakol holech achar anov. Everything depends where the branch is. So if the tree's on the inside and the branch is on the outside, so then you view that area that it's really outside the Ir Miklat, and therefore the Goel Adam could kill him. Or the other way, if the tree is rooted outside the Ir Miklat, but the nof, the branch is inside, so you view it as now it's inside the Ir Miklat, and therefore he cannot kill him. So Rashi explains that even if you're by the trunk of the tree, which is inside the boundary, but since the branch is outside, you're viewed as that you're also outside, and the guy can come kill you. Or the other way around, if you're by the trunk of the tree outside the tchum, but the branch of the tree is inside, so then you will also get protection. Okay. Now we're gonna bring a little complicated different areas where it's gonna make a difference by where the root of the tree is and where the branches are. So let's see. Viraminhi, it says in Meiser Sheni, the following: Elon shehu omed. So a tree that is bifnim, the tree that the is rooted in Yerushalayim. Now you have to eat your Meiser Sheni in Yerushalayim. So you have to know where is Yerushalayim, which part. So Elon shehu omed, an Elon that is in Yerushalayim, venota lechutz, but its branches are leaning outside of Yerushalayim. Or the other way, omed b'chutz venota levifnim, its root is outside Yerushalayim, the walls of Yerushalayim, but its branches are leaning in. So now, says the Mishnah in Meiser Sheni, depends. Mikineged achoma v'lifnim, kilifnim. Mikineged achoma v'lachutz, kilachutz. So I said, it depends. You don't just go after where the branch is. It depends. The part that's right next to the wall, corresponding to the wall, that's going to be considered like the inside of the wall, like you're inside of Yerushalayim. And if you're corresponding to the outside, the part that's leaning outwards, then you also will be considered outside of Yerushalayim. So it all depends where you are corresponding to the tree. But you don't say everything goes after the branch. It depends where you are. So that flies in the face of our Mishnah. Says the Gemara, well, it's very different. Meiser are in Mikla Karamis. You're asking a question of Meiser Sheni to the city of refuge. So Meiser Bechoma Talarachmana. When it comes to Meiser, everything depends on the wall. Because you have to eat the Meiser Sheni within the walls of Yerushalayim. So therefore, depending where you are by the tree corresponding to the wall, then you'll either be considered inside or outside of Yerushalayim. But the Ari Miklat, the cities of refuge, that depends on something else. That depends on Bedira Tala Rachmana. That depends on living in the Ir Miklat. And therefore, since it depends on living, it says you should dwell in the city of refuge. So Rashi explains that the branch is more fitting to dwell than the trunk of the tree. So since the branch is a place you could, I guess, live by the other parts of the tree and have shelter over there. So therefore, you go after the branch and not after the trunk of the tree. But there are two separate areas of the Torah. One's Meiser Sheni and one is Ir Miklat. Yeah. Bedira Talachmana, Benofo, Mitzdarle, and Beikar lo Mitzdarle. By the branch you could live, by the trunk of the tree you cannot live. Okay. Once we mentioned Meiser Sheni, there's another Mishnah in Meiser Sheni, which is going to seem to contradict the Mishnah that we just quoted. So it says there, the Tnan b'Yushalayim halach achar anof. It says by Meiser Sheni, and by Yerushalayim, you go after the branch. And ba'arei miklat halach achar anof. Just like arei miklat, you go after the branch. So too, to know if you're in or outside of Yerushalayim, you also go after the branch. So that seems to go against this other Mishnah in Meiser Sheni, which says it all depends on where you are corresponding to the wall of Yerushalayim. So, Rav Kahana lo kasha, that's also not a problem. These two Mishnayos are two separate opinions. Ha-Rabbi Yehuda v'ha-Rabbanan. It reflects the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda and the Rabbanan. So, Rabbi Yehuda omer b'ma'ara holech achar pischa, and b'Elon holech achar nofa. So, Rabbi Yehuda says if you have a cave, that part of it is inside, but its opening of the cave is outside, then it's like you're outside. Or if the whole cave is outside and the opening is to the inside, it's like you're inside. Everything goes after the opening. But by an Elon, by a tree, you go after the branch. So this Mishnah is reflecting that that opinion of Rabbi Yehuda, that you go after the branch. The Rabbanan argue, though. The Rabbanan say, man, no, it all depends where you are, corresponding to the wall. So now, this that Rabbi Yehuda says, you always go after where the branches are. Emer the Shammai said, Rabbi Yehuda gabe Meiser. That's only when it comes to Meiser. L'chumra, you go after the stricter opinion, meaning if ikaro b'chutz v'nofo b'fnim, so if the root of the tree is outside of Yerushalayim, but the branch is inside, so kihechi dibinofo lo matzi parik, be'ikaro nami lo matzi parik, just like yeah, maybe Rabbi Huda never said this, that you always go after where the branch is. Rather, he said, once again, Eimer the Shama say, Rabbi Huda got by Meiser lechumra. By Meiser, yeah, by Meiser he said this. Why? If the root of the tree is outside Yerushalayim, but the branch of the tree is inside Yerushalayim, so just like Yehechi lo matzi park, just like if on the branch, by the branch, you can't redeem your Meiser, so too be ikaronami lo matzi park. So too by the root of the tree, you can't redeem your Meiser either. Meiser Sheni, you can redeem outside Yerushalayim, but once you're inside, you can't redeem it. You have to only eat it inside Yerushalayim. So, but if ikarim b'fnim, if the root of the tree is inside Yerushalayim, v'nofim b'chutz, and the branch of the tree is outside Yerushalayim, so now kihechi dibinofal matzi achil, since you can't eat it outside, so below p'tia, b'ikaronami lo matzi achil below p'tia. So according to Rabbi Huda, you're going to take these two things, the chumrah and the kula. Meiser Sheni, you can only redeem outside Yerushalayim, and you can only eat it inside Yerushalayim. So maybe he only said this by Meiser, that it depends where you are. If the root of the tree is outside and the branch is inside, so just like on part of the tree you can't redeem it, meaning on the inside part, the root of the tree you also can't redeem it. However, if it's the other way, that the root of the tree is inside Yerushalayim and the branch is outside Yerushalayim, so too, just like on the branch you can't eat it because it's outside Yerushalayim, so too on the root of the tree you can't do that either. But Ela Gabi Arim Mikla, when it comes to Arim Mikla, it should be very different. Why? But Arim Mikla, Bishlama Ikarmi Bachutz, if the root of the tree is outside Yerushalayim and the branch of the tree is inside, so does that make sense? Can you compare the two together? When it comes to Ari Mikla, does it make sense that because he can't kill you, he can't kill you on the branch because you're inside, but he could still kill you outside. So it should not be comparable to Meiser. So Ella, right, rather as follows: Ella ikarum bifnim v'nofo b'chutz. If the root of the tree is inside and the branch is outside, kihechi de b'nofo matzi katile. Just like on the branch, he's able to kill you. Oh, 1 second, sorry, 1 second. Bishlam ikarum b'chutz v'nofo b'fnim. Just like the root of the tree is on the outside, v'nofo b'fnim, and the branch is on the inside. So kihechi de b'nofo lo matzi katil. Just like he can't kill you when he's on the branch because that's inside the Ari Mikla. Be karanami lo matzi katile. So therefore, we'll say he can't kill you even when you're by the root of the tree. But if you say the other way, bifnim v'nofo b'chutz, if you say that the ikr of the tree is inside v'nofo b'chutz, so kihechi de b'nofo matzi katile, just like he could kill you outside the Ari Mikla by the branch, so then you should say he should be able to kill you inside also, be karanami matzi katile, and we don't say that because when you're inside the boundary and by the root of the tree, we're not going to say that he's allowed to kill you just because he could kill you when he's by the branch. Hagavaikai, that's inside the Ari Mikla. So that's not going to make any sense. So that comparison is not going to work, the comparison of Meiser Sheni to the Ari Mikla. Amarava, Beikaro de Kulamalo Pligi Deloy Matzikat. Of course, if you're by the root of the tree inside Ari Mikla, no one holds, he can kill you over there. Lo Pligi Deloy Matzikatel. Kai Benofo, if you're standing by the branch, the Yachal Horgo Bechitim Betzuros, outside the Ari Mikla, and he can kill you with his arrows or his stones. Everyone agrees that he is able to kill you. Where do they argue? When he wants to get up on the root of the tree to climb up to the branch. He has to go inside the Ari Miklat, climb up the root just to get to the branch and kill you when you're on the branch. One opinion holds it could be a step to the branch and it's fine. He could still kill you. It cannot be considered a branch, a stepping stool to the branch, and therefore he cannot kill you. Rav Ashi Amar, my acharanof. He just means to say af acharanof, and we'll continue from this line, from this last part tomorrow.
Yashka.